Today, we're going to talk about the bout between Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chandler. From their game plans, activities surrounding the fight, predictions, and all on what the UFC has to say about these two great fighters. As a bonus, we also included 10 interesting facts that you probably didn't know about Tony Ferguson. So stay tuned to the end of the video. Tony Ferguson has lost all 3 bouts that he has featured in recently, but this does not in any way affect how his UFC 274 opponent sees it. Michael Chandler has remained on his toes and has refused to underestimate the former interim lightweight champion. While speaking on the ESPN's DC and RC show, Chandler stated that Tony Ferguson has always been a perennial top guy. We're only a couple of years removed from that illustrious 12-fight win streak that he was on when he looked unbeatable. Possibly it could have even beaten KHABIB. There were a lot of people who were picking him to beat KHABIB. Would that have happened? We don't know because we never saw it. But I see Tony Ferguson as a guy who's still extremely dangerous. Still always performs well even when he runs into the toughest guy in the division. He added by saying that, "I don't necessarily think it's a step back, but it's a winnable fight, that's for darn sure." Chandler is also on a losing streak as well. He recently lost to Charles Oliveira and Justin Gaethje. Chandler believes that a fight against Ferguson will help get him back on track to becoming a UFC champion. Tony Ferguson has been quiet from the media. That's never the case with this flamboyant fighter, and who knows what's going on in that deranged head of his. And so, we've decided to share the 10 interesting facts of Tony Ferguson. Number 10, he started his MMA career by teaching kids how to wrestle. Most MMA fans never actually planned their entry into the MMA world. As their stories show, it was completely up to chance. Tony Ferguson has a similar story. While working in a bar, Ferguson was approached by a man that noticed his deformed ear, which is mostly common among fighters. Number 9, he defeated a kickboxing champion at the start of his MMA career. Now, this might come as a shock to some kickboxing fans, but Tony Ferguson actually defeated a kickboxing champion, Joe Schilling, at the onset of his MMA career. Joe Schilling had an impressive record of winning several championships, including a Glory Championship tournament. Ferguson defeated Schilling in the second round via rear naked choke. This earned him his very first submission victory. Number 8, he was undefeated on The Ultimate Fighter. Ferguson featured in a season of The Ultimate Fighter where he served as a member of the Team Lesnar. Ferguson remained undefeated against Team Dos Santos and all other opponents he came against in the Ultimate Fighter season. Most of his bouts ended in the first round. The only exception to this was his bout against a member of the Team Lesnar, which went all 3 rounds. Number 7, he landed a strike that broke his opponent's jaw in his second UFC bout. Ferguson had always put up a good fight in the UFC, and this can be traced as far back as his second UFC bout, where he hurt his opponent so badly that the fight had to be called off. Ferguson managed to land a strike that broke the jaw of his opponent, Aaron Riley, in the first round. This injury resulted in Riley not being able to finish the fight. Number 6, only one fighter has been able to defeat him via a TKO. Tony Ferguson is one fighter with an impeccable record. The only fight that Ferguson has ever lost via a TKO came in 2020, 9 years after his debut in the UFC. He's faced off with some good strikers, but Justin Gaethje was the first fighter to defeat him with strikes in his career. Number 5, he was seen as a perfect match for KHABIB Nurmagomedov. Tony Ferguson has lots of great fighting skills, from his striking ability to his well-developed submission game. The combination of these skills had made him a perfect match for KHABIB Nurmagomedov. The bout between the duo was supposed to happen, but it never did due to both men not being able to fight. Till this date, MMA fans all around the world are still left to wonder if Ferguson would have been able to defeat KHABIB. Number 4, he has odd training methods. The uniqueness of Tony Ferguson doesn't just end in the octagon, it goes all the way to his training methods. Some posts made by the UFC star on social media has showcased some of his training methods, which are not the regular training methods that we expect. In some of these videos, Ferguson can be seen throwing baseballs to help build strength, smacking his arms off of objects, doing somersaulting jumps, and carrying out hammer swings on a gym ball to increase the strength of his bones. Number 3, he doesn't spar during training. It's almost impossible to see a fighter preparing for a bout without sparring, as it comes highly recommended by most coaches. However, Ferguson falls in this impossible class. Ferguson believes that the concept of sparring can limit the creativity of a fighter during an actual bout. Although everybody has their own opinion on this topic, we would all agree that it's been working for Ferguson in his career. Number 2, he has a record of 12-fight win streak in the UFC. The UFC is one promotion that has a collection of the toughest fighters in the world. While this might be a good thing, it also has some implications, such as making it difficult for fighters to pile up a sizable amount of win streak. This does not apply to Ferguson, who at one point in his UFC career had a 12-fight win streak. Number 1, he has an open invitation to fight KHABIB. Most of Tony Ferguson's fans believe strongly that if the pair had fought in the octagon, it would have ended in favor of Ferguson. UFC fans never really got to see how this fight would play out. However, it is worth mentioning that KHABIB's camp made this offer. Some other MMA fans feel that KHABIB would have had the upper hand. In MMA, anything is possible. So let's just hope that maybe one day Ferguson will actually meet KHABIB. Ali Abdelaziz has registered his support for Tony Ferguson ahead of his forthcoming bout against Michael Chandler. This post was made by the Dominance MMA top dog in response to a picture posted by El Kuchu. Abdelaziz wished Ferguson good luck as he prepares to engage in one of the toughest tests in his UFC career. The post made by Abdelaziz came as a surprise to many, considering the fact that the number 7 ranked lightweight and Abdelaziz had not had the best of relationships. Good luck on your next fight, Tony. I'm rooting for you. Best of luck. Chael Sonnen has made it known that although Tony Ferguson might have lost 3 fights in a row, he still has a lot of fights left in him. On his YouTube channel, Sonnen said, "I do not believe Tony's best days are behind him, and I don't think Tony looked rusty in that last fight. I do not see a fighter that is underdriven or that has slowed down or that has lost his power. That had lost his timing." A close observation of his 2 losses to Charles Oliveira and Benail Dariush would reveal that Ferguson was mainly controlled on the ground. Sonnen believes that Chandler might have to take advantage of his grappling when they throw down. You can bet your ass Chandler's not planning to come out and throw lefts and rights all night with Tony, Sonnen said. He's going to throw a left, follow with a right to get close, to get a double leg, to pick him up, to put him down, because that's what he saw the last couple opponents do. Michael Bisping believes that the UFC 274 might end in favor of Michael Chandler. Bisping claimed that if Ferguson fails to win this fight, most of his fans will advise him to retire. The Englishman stated that Ferguson was experiencing a rough time in his career. Bisping went on to shower praises on El Kuchu, commending his outstanding years in the UFC. While speaking in a recent episode of his Believe You Me podcast, Bisping stated, "If he loses 4 in a row, which he's got a very good chance of doing, let's be honest, he has got a chance of losing to Michael Chandler. But if he loses 4 in a row and he loses badly, then a lot of people are going to ask him to start thinking about retirement, which would be sad because it would be such a huge fall from grace." The former middleweight champion Bisping made it clear that at 38 years of age, it was normal for Ferguson to have slowed down a bit in terms of his speed and reflexes. At 38, he's getting on. That's old. 38. For a lightweight as well, right? And I think that's probably got to do with the number of fights, the wear and tear on the body, the damage that he's taken, the fan-pleasing style. And then, of course, combined with undefeated father time, he's effing 38. And you can't go on forever, you know? Sean O'Malley shares his opinion on the fight. The UFC bantamweight contender Sean O'Malley has also shared his bold predictions for the UFC 274 bout between Tony Ferguson and Michael Chandler. O'Malley believes that Chandler will win the fight. Suga made these predictions in an episode of the Bro Malley Show where he broke down the UFC 274 and said, "I'll call an early prediction, Michael Chandler KO. That's just how I see that. I don't usually have an opinion. I don't know what. For whatever reason, I think Michael Chandler KOs Tony Ferguson." According to O'Malley, Chandler has the capacity to crack the iron chin of Ferguson. Michael Chandler has been having quite a tough time since he joined the UFC. After winning his UFC debut via a technical knockout, he's gone on to lose 2 other fights against Charles Oliveira at the UFC 257 and a bout against Justin Gaethje at UFC 264. Before joining MMA, Iron had a successful MMA career in other promotions, such as the Strikeforce and Bellator MMA. At a point, he was the lightweight champion in the Bellator MMA. The former CEO of Strikeforce and the current president of Bellator MMA, Scott Coker, showered praises on Chandler while speaking in an interview with The Schmo. "He's doing great. Michael is a tough kid. He always brought it. I love Michael. We still chat, texting, and we still communicate, so I think he's doing a good job. I hope he keeps getting to the point and go get that belt. Michael will fight you in a phone booth. Intense kid, always in great shape. You know what kind of work that takes to get into that shape? He is a true MMA fighter." Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and also turn on your notifications. We'll be reading out our top comments in the near future. And make sure to watch our other videos to find out all the latest news in MMA.